there, I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shep. And I'm Greg Finn.
And it is officially a very special episode of Marking the Clock. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Today, me and Greg are here to honor our list of the top 50 PPC influencers according to Marketing the Clock.
Yes, absolutely. And we double-checked this list, and good news, totally accurate. These are people who have helped the news, helped us do our job, helped the PPC community get better, and it's our list. So we wanted to share it with the world and let people know why maybe you can get some value and why to follow these different folks.
Mm-hmm. And these are the people that we follow to get some of our news every week for the show. So we definitely recommend anyone in PPC follow these people. Okay, should we get into it?
Yes, and you requested we start reverse alphabetical, correct?
Greg thinks I have a chip on my shoulder because my last name starts with a Z, but we sorted it by first name, so...
Oh, we did sort by first name?
I would have been at the bottom.
Oh, no,
do you want to change that?
No, we have it reverse alphabetical right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By first name.
Yeah, that's fine. I feel like
okay.
I feel like it's always first name alphabetical. Let's flip it.
Okay, we're just flipping it all over the place.
Love it.
Okay. So first here, we want to honor someone who on Twitter gives us a lot of updates in the B2B and news space for all types of ads. This is Timothy Jensen at Timothy J Jensen on Twitter.
Yes, and is an internal in-house PPCer from M&T Bank and is, I guess, upstate New York. We're kind of Western New York. He's upstate New York. In Albany. But yeah, Timothy J Jensen on Twitter, power listener of the show, great for B2B and for any news and updates that you need.
And next here on our list, we have Sophie Logan at Marketing Soph on Twitter.
I just love her handle.
I know.
Like, it's just such a good handle.
It could be Marketing Soft, but I think it's Marketing Soph, right?
I don't think it is. Sophie is the head of paid media at Victorous Digital and always is finding updates and little things that are new in your Google Ads account. Great follow.
Okay, next up, someone we reference quite a bit on the show. He's got hot takes. He tweets a lot about B2B, news, PMAX, local. Great follow. It's Sean Ellie at SLE2134.
Yeah, we actually turned Sean into a sticker this year. It was him when he said Performance Max looks like a truck. We'll put it up on the screen. And yeah, Sean over at Blue Ox Digital does a great job finding everything. And I feel like the nice thing is he's got to get some rants and he gets a little bit, you could tell he gets a little bit heated on stuff. So he's a great follower here in 2023.
Keeps things light. It's funny. I do have a bone to pick with his handle because I have to read it all the time on the show and the numbers are like a little confusing for me.
Yeah.
2134.
Yeah, it's like a little.
I wonder what it means. Zing. Let us know, Sean. But thank you for the content. Okay, next up, another huge friend of the show. Thank you, Sarah Steeman, for your contributions to PPC chat and Twitter.
At RunnerKick, K-I-K on Twitter. And Sarah's a senior paid search manager at Marcus Thomas. Sarah graced us with her presence on our Oops All Heck, where we donated a good portion of, well, we donated all the money. We donated over $6,000, $3,000 from listeners and $3,000 we matched here at Cypress North. But Sarah has all sorts of information and happenings on Google Ads accounts. A big thank you, and give Sarah a follow at RunnerKick on Twitter.
Okay, next up, we have another fan favorite, huge contributor to the show. He has left us voicemails before. You can do that at call.marketingtheclock.com. It's Sam Tomlinson, Digital Sam I Am. He is always tweeting a lot of experience in B2B, lots of PMAX hot takes. We love Sam, right, Greg?
I think Sam might be one of the best brains that we have in PPC. And then the other thing too is whenever there's anything from like a business financial standpoint, Sam is always on top of it, any court cases, anything like that. But he just has such a well-reasoned response for everything. It's like I don't know. It's just somebody I'd just always be afraid to like ever debate. He's always got the answers. So give him a follow at Digital Sam I Am on Twitter.
And next up here on our list, we have Pauline Jacober. She is the founder and CEO of Group 27, and you can follow her right at the Group 27 handle, and that's spelled at GRPTWENTYSEVEN.
Yes, and Pauline is a fantastic contributor. She always has well-reasoned and I think very tactical articles that you will do well by if you just follow her advice, and she puts it out everywhere. So big thank you, Pauline.
And we should say for anyone listening, as we're getting to some of these trickier handles, we will have them all on our website.
Yep, and we'll actually make a list. Right now, Twitter is still the thing. When it becomes not the thing, we'll change it, but we'll make a list that you can just follow as well. So it'll be our top 50. And if you just want PPC news, you can go and you can follow that or just check it out. And it'll be all these fine folks curated into one Twitter list.
Okay. Somebody else you should be following is Nikki Coleman at Nikki Jump Fly on Twitter. She is the director of search strategy at her company, Jump Fly. We love Nikki. Right, Greg?
Yeah, she always has very smart tweets. You can tell she's in the account. She always finds things before other people do. And she's the director of search strategy. So give her a follow on LinkedIn, anywhere you can.
Okay, somebody else that is a huge contributor to our content on the show, breaker of news, whether it's from her articles or just her Twitter directly, it is Nicole Farley. She is an editor at Search Engine Land, and you can follow her at nfarley on Twitter.
Yes, and she has her own company as well, WebSprout. Check it out. It is thewebsprout.com if you want. Amazing source for anything news related. Probably has the inside information before it even comes out.
Okay, next up on our list, we have Nava Hopkins. She is the president at Nava Hopkins, and you can follow her at NavaH on Twitter.
No. I made the same mistake. It's Nava F on Twitter.
Oh.
I made the same mistake on an SMX panel with her, which was great. You could probably go back and find it.
Did she have to correct you?
Yeah. Oh. I'm like, oh, wait, I forgot because it was her previous name. But either way, it's Nava F on Twitter. And
but Nava ends in an H.
Yes.
That's what throws me
off. Yep. And Nava has great insight and information on both Google Ads and also on that B2B side and that B2B flavor. So don't miss Nava. It's Nava F on Twitter.
Somebody else we love, hopefully I don't mess up this handle. You have got to be following Mike Ryan at Mike Ryan Retail. You really need to be following him on LinkedIn too. We'll have that linked in our article on marketingoclock.com. If you are doing any kind of shopping, PMax, he is the one to be following. He is so smart. He's basically tweeting out articles in his tweets. I don't know how he keeps it within the character limit.
He makes news. He legit made news that made it into Ad Exchanger recently here with the amount of branded terms that made it into PMax. And he's got a fantastic team over at Smarter E-commerce. I had one of his teammates, Vanna, jump on an SMX with me. Great team over there. And Mike Ryan is phenomenal for anything retail. And he's got his own podcast too. So don't miss that. At Mike Ryan Retail on Twitter.
Okay, another follow you should not be missing is Michelle Morgan. She is the co-founder of Paid Media Pros. You can follow her at Michelle SEM on Twitter. You should definitely be keeping up with Paid Media Pros on YouTube. They have amazing videos breaking down. They're really helpful, like how-to tutorials and strategy videos of a bunch of different platforms: Google Ads, Meta Ads,
LinkedIn, anything you can think of, they got it covered. And that's like always one of my go-tos is number one, PPC chat, check it out, Julie Bacchini, and then go check out Paid Media Pros, Michelle. And somebody else on our list here, a little bit lower, is phenomenal at those videos.
Okay, we have another friend of the show next on our list, former Marketing a Talk guest. You need to be following Menachem Ani if you are doing anything with Google Ads. He is the founder of JXT Group. He speaks at a lot of events. He's super smart. You can follow him at Menachem Ani. And again, great PMax takes, hilarious tweets. We love him.
Yeah, and the minute I started following him, I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's become, I think, one of the most respected folks in the PMax side of things, as you mentioned. So great follow. Thank you, Menachem.
And next on our list, we have the Associate Director of Paid Search at Markle B2B. This is Melissa Mackey, and you can follow her at Beyond the Paid on Twitter.
And there's no other name you think of when you think of B2B than Melissa Mackey. She is always championing B2B in Google Ads. And whenever any of those Google Marketing Lives come out, She's the one, where's B2B? Where's B2B? Great job on most recent SMX. You can go back and check it out if you missed that. Melissa is a must follow for B2B.
Next on our list here, we have Mark Gustafson. He is the founder at 900 Kings, and you can follow him at Mark PGUS.
Yes, Mark Pigus.
Oh, it's like the middle initial. I got
it must be. And Mark had its own company, but he always finds a lot of interesting news and updates within the Google Ads platform specifically is why he made the list. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, we've got another familiar friend of the show here on the list. Big contributor in our Discord community as well. If you want to join us there, community.marketingoclock.com. It's Lawrence Chassis. He is the founder of 707 Marketing. You can follow him at LChassis on Twitter.
Yeah, and again, one of those people where he's in accounts each and every day. Whenever there's a change, he's there. And power listener.
And cute dog pics, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, another big name in the e-commerce space. Next on our list, we have Kirk Williams. He is the owner at Zato Marketing. You can follow him at PPC Kirk. He's just PPC Kirk in my heart. He's not even Kirk Williams.
In everybody's hearts, he's just PPC Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely on the shopping forefront, he is a must follow 100%. And he's got very reasonable takes. I feel like my takes are way one-sided. Like my takes are always like so pro Google. You know what I mean? Like his takes are very, very metered.
You just admitted to that?
And my takes are pro Google.
Oh, you said they're pro Google.
Right?
Oh, totally.
I'm just hoping I win a clock score this year.
Okay. Good luck. Okay, next on our list, we have Kassem Aslam. He is the founder at Solutions 8, and you can follow him at Kassem Aslam on Twitter.
Yep, and he's big on the PMAX side of things. And if you want to see a masterclass in retargeting, go to his website, and you will see lots of ads for Kassem. Always finding new features and lots of information on PMAX.
Okay, next on our list, some call her a queen. She might be the only person on the list that you really need to be following on TikTok as well. It's Queen Jill Haskingales. Sometimes she's just JSG to us. You can follow her at Jill Haskingales on Twitter.
What is the saying from the Kardashians? The devil works hard, JSG works harder.
Works harder.
She's always putting content out there, and it's free, and it's helpful, and is a huge, huge benefit to the community.
Yeah, and maybe the only person on this list who used to work for Google and is now trying to spill some secrets. That can be really helpful. Next up on our list, someone you definitely need to be following. Some people call her PPC Mom. It's Julie F. Pacini. At Neptune Moon on Twitter.
I don't call her PPC Mom, for the record.
I do.
Yeah, Julie runs amazing community currently on Twitter. Might be going somewhere else where we'll have to see. But it's PPC Chat. Hashtag PPC Chat on Twitter. Tuesdays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. There's a kind of text chat. And then it's recapped right now on Twitter Spaces Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Time. And if you want more information, her company is Neptune Moon, and there's also official ppcchat.com where you can get more information in case that does change at any point, or of course neptunemoon.com.
Yeah, some people call her PPC Mom, some people call her Salt J.
That's true. I call her Salt J.
She's the
Although
best.
Bad look for him at the World Cup.
Who?
Salt Bay.
Who's that?
Salt Bay, the salt guy.
I didn't know he was what did he do at the World Cup?
He tried to go up and grab Messi at the end of the thing.
Wait, is he a soccer player?
No, he's like a Turkish restaurateur.
And he just showed up at the game?
Showed up and Messi just blew him off.
I don't even think I knew where that joke originated.
Oh. Yeah, I put a picture of her face throwing salt when she was extra salty one week.
Julie's the best.
Great follow.
Does so much for the community. Always the voice for B2B too. And you got to join the spaces because she just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy and encouraged to do well at your job. I love her. Okay, next on our list, another J, Julia Vise. She is the digital director at Dentsu International, and you can follow her at Julia Vise on Twitter.
And big contributor to PPC Chat pretty much each and every week. Talking, Google Ads, some Meta, everything like that. Big part of the community. Thank you, Julia.
Next up on our list, we have John Kagan. At John Kagan on Twitter. He is the VP of Search at 9 Rooftops.
And my favorite thing about John is he's one of those people out there that's just really funny. You know what I mean? Like, knows his stuff, knows when to step in. And I think he was up for a Clocksker for his
He's always
comments.
up for take of the week somewhere.
Yeah. And it'll be at Google Marketing Live saying, like, I know what you're doing with PMAX. You can't sway me with Miley Cyrus and all that stuff. But a great follow and a very knowledgeable person.
You get way more points on my list if you're funny. John checks that box.
I agree. Life's too short to not have fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next, we have another paid media pro, Joe Martinez, at Milwaukee PPC on Twitter.
I was just wearing his shirt yesterday, and I wore it to bed. He was the famous Take of the Year winner, I believe, last year when his Google rep reached out to him and said, I have a recommendation for you. And it was just raise your budgets. And we turned it into a t-shirt. It was a huge meme. I don't know. Joe's great. And he was also on a Marketing a Talk a while back. A great follow at Milwaukee PPC. I always spell Milwaukee wrong too.
Yeah, but at least you can like look it up.
True.
It's not like somebody's name. Okay, Will, are we saying this person's name out loud? We're like comfortable doing that now?
I feel like he's a PPC Kirk to me. Now we can say his name out loud.
Okay. It's Greg Kohler, a.k.a. PPC Greg. He's won Greg of the Year before. I don't know if we're airing the Clockskers before this, so this year may still be up for debate. But PPC Greg is one of the best if you are doing anything with Google ads, other ad platforms. He was in a Hulu Ads Manager ad himself. A lot of experience in the local space, and he's just always finding things in the platform, tweeting them out, asking questions to ads liaison. He's such a great person to follow in the community. Like,
I like how that's funny? I don't know. He was in like the Hulu pamphlet, like before he even came, before people even knew who he was. But you know him best for asking questions to Ginny. I think it's funny.
I listed 10 things before that.
That's fair enough. But PPC Greg, also a great guy. If you want to interact with him, fantastic. And he's also in Discord answering questions, community.marketingclock.com. A absolute must follow. Mm-hmm. Who's next, Shep?
Well, Greg, how could we get through a list of Marketing the Clock's top 50 most influential PPC follows without mentioning our Google Ads liaison, Ms. Ginny Marvin?
I mean, we technically couldn't. We technically couldn't. I just wish there were more tweets coming out. I miss the old search engine land days, but at Ads Liaison on Twitter is the official handle of the Google Ads Liaison, who is currently Ginny Marvin.
And if there's anything big happening with Google, she's going to tweet about it right away. If you have any questions, she can help answer them. Definitely very important person to be following.
Yeah, that's one of the best things she's brought to the table is regardless of who asks the question, if they tag her, she usually does her best to get an answer. So much appreciated.
Next up on our list, we have Gil Hong. Gil is the senior manager of paid search at Neil Patel Digital, and you can follow him at _Gil Hong on Twitter.
Yeah, and Gil is a regular on PPC chats, shares a lot of findings and information, and a very great part of a thriving community.
Next up on this list, we have Frederick Valleys. He's the co-founder of Optimizer. You can follow him at Silicon Valleys on Twitter. Fred is one of the best. If you have any opportunity to see a talk he's giving, an article he's written, definitely take advantage of it and definitely follow him.
And he has PPC town halls. Any of his research on RSAs and pinning, there's nothing better than that. Just a fantastic contributor.
And a great handle. Next person you should be following is Elizabeth Marston over at Tenuity. You can follow her at EBKENDO on Twitter.
And if you're in retail, e-commerce, anything like that, must follow. I saw her today, I think, talking about Instacart ads. Anything to do with e-commerce, put her at the top of your list.
Next up on our list, Dwayne Brown. He is over at Take Some Risk Incorporated. I love that name. I didn't know that was the name of his company. You can follow him at Dwayne Brown on Twitter.
And one of my favorite things that Dwayne does in a lot of the PPC chats that I keep talking about, obviously there's a theme here, but also goes out and puts out salary reports, breaks it down in-house at agencies, different countries, does a great job with that, and then also kind of comes up with benchmarks this time of the year as well. So definitely do not miss him at Dwayne Brown, Duane Brown.
Next we have Diana Alina Aldea. She is over at Creatopy, and you can follow her at Diana Elena Aldea on Twitter. Nice and easy handle.
A power listener, finds a lot of stuff, and then goes out of her way to put out different findings and reports. So a can't miss follow.
Okay, and we have another friend of the show next on our list. It's Dario Zanoni. You can follow him at Dario Zanoni on Twitter. Another huge contributor in our Discord community as well, always breaking news, giving insights about what he's seeing in his accounts, lots of meta ads, tips.
Shopping, for sure. And his company is a Japanese company. So it's actually asue.jp. And that's one of my favorite things is we've got all these different people from reporting from around the world in different locations. But Dario Zanoni is a must follow regardless of where you are.
Yeah. One of my favorites was when he caught a meta ads bug that was affecting a meta ads ad.
Yeah, that
Great
was a
moment in my life. Okay, next up here we have Corey Hankey. He's over at Variable Media, and you can follow him at Corey Hankey on Twitter.
And Corey Hankey is phenomenal at anything to do with video. If you're in video, pause this right now. Go check out his presentation at SMX Next. And my favorite thing is how innovative he is with Power BI. Jumped on the Power BI bandwagon early. If you look at this presentation, his Power BI reports are like chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Okay, next up we have another funny follow. I really appreciate this one. It's Colin Slattery at CJ Slattery on Twitter. He's often making it to Take of the Year nominee.
Oh, yeah. I think every year he has. He's unfiltered.
Yeah.
And he puts out a lot of great content. Well, his Google Ads Guide is one of the best Google Ads Guide, along with yours, Shep. Just phenomenal thoughts around Google Ads specifically.
Okay, another friend of the show. Up next on our list, we have Chris Ridley over at Evoluted in the UK. You can follow him at C_J_Ridley. Chris is one of the best. I feel like I know him in person. He's one of my friends at this point.
I know.
But he's so helpful in Discord. He's always tweeting things that he's seeing in the platform. He's starting to speak at conferences now. So if you have an opportunity to see him, I'm sure you'll learn so much.
Yeah, he's had a busy year, and he's still he's gotten us probably for at least the first half of the year. He was generating about 1/10 of the news that we had. Just him. It's just everything was from Chris Ridley. He knows what he's doing, folks. Give him a follow.
He's the best. Next up, another person you should be following is Brooke Osmondson. She is over at Smith Micro Software, and you can follow her at Brooke Osmondson on Twitter.
Yep, and great for B2B. And I believe she also is posting over on Search Engine Journal, too. So you can check out her work there. Thanks, Brooke.
Okay. Next up, friend of the show, no last name needed. It's Brett.
Brett
Bodofsky. At Brett Bodofsky on Twitter. Brett is the best. He has like so much energy and enthusiasm for what he's doing. He's always pumping up our show too. So just follow him to keep up with Marketing O'Clock because he's getting like merch all the time and pumping our egos. But he's the best. Yeah,
and I think he's like one of the highest levels you can be of a Google help user. I forget what that's called. And is like he's a big fan of Google. He's just a fan of everybody. Everybody should just go be a big fan of him. Brett.
Next up, we're going from Brett to Brad. Brad Geddes from Adanalysis. You can follow him at BG Theory on Twitter.
Yep, and Brad, along with myself, helped to program the SMX paid side of things. Brad also running at Adanalysis has got a lot of information on everything from RSAs to just ad copy. He's a veteran, a vet in the industry, a great follow. Check him out at BG Theory. And another person we think you should be following is Boris Basaric at Boris Basaric on Twitter. He had some Clockscrew nominees this year. Yeah, he's one of these people is in the account all the time. Any little change, a UI change, anything you need to know, he's got you covered. And he does it with a little bit of sass. I love it. I think this next one might be a little controversial. It can't be. Okay. Barry Schwartz at Rusty Bick on Twitter as a top 50 most influential PPC follow. Do you know why nobody can argue about this? Why? Name one person on earth that's written more stories in 2020 about PPC.
I agree. I just think
Maybe
the
Nicole
SEOs.
Farley?
I just think the SEOs are going to have thoughts.
Well, we're taking them here on our team, Barry. I don't think anybody, honestly, other than Nicole Farley, has written more about PPC yearly than Barry does. He doesn't even get credit for it. Everybody just looks at him as SEO and all that coverage. No.
He's everything.
He's everything and more.
If it's a search engine, he's interested. Okay, next up we have Azeem Ahmad at Azeem Digital on Twitter. He is another friend of the show.
Not just friend of the show.
Oh, he's former BFF of the show. 2020?
2022.
I've been on his podcast. He's speaking at a lot of events, so if you ever have a chance to get to hear from him, great person to follow and hear from.
Yep, and I think one of my favorite things about what Azeem does is how impactful he is on the community, especially for more marginalized folks. He really gives everybody a platform, and his show, Azeem Digital Asks, is a must listen. Season 5 coming out soon, I believe. You can go pitch over at azeemdigital.com.
Next up on our list, we have Ashwin Balakrishnan over at Optimizer. You can follow him at The Copy Trail on Twitter.
And it's speaking of, I know this is just alphabetical, but I loved when Ashwin was on with Azeem. I think it was season 4. I think it was most recent, or either end of season 3 or season 4. But Ashwin was talking just about how important like nobody ever talks about that. He just talked about the messaging, the copy. It was one of those really nice grounding moments. And again, with Optimizers, got all the data. Great follow on Twitter. At least currently. All this stuff is like current, like, I don't know where everything's going to go. Maybe Mastodon, check it out though, the Copy Trail.
Okay, I like this next person because I feel like PPC can be really doom and gloom sometimes. She just brings so much positivity to everything. It's Anu Adegbola at The Marketing Anu on Twitter. She also has the PPC Chat Roundup podcast that you can catch wherever you're listening to this. Anu is the best.
And Anu has PPC Live now, a full conference line over in the UK, gets a bunch of great speakers, and a former Marketing a Talk guest here. She was on our Oops All Heck charity episode and is a power listener, just an absolute wonderful human that must be followed. Not even should be, must be followed.
Thank you, Anu. Okay, next up on our list, another former BFF of the show, we have Andrea Cruz Lopez over at Tenuity. We love Andrea. You can follow her at Andrea Cruz92. She has a ton of experience with B2B, whether it's Google ads or LinkedIn ads. She's so smart. If you ever get the chance to see her speak at a conference, I would not miss the opportunity.
Yeah, and I think she might have the record for most appearances on Marketing O'Clock outside of this building. I think she might. Right? Who else would be more?
Glenn Gabe?
Oh, maybe. No, I think she beat Glenn Gabe. Glenn's only been on once.
Either way, can't go wrong. Okay, next up on our list, we have Amy Hebden over at Paid Search Magic. You can follow her at Amy PPC. I forgot she was in the PPC Family Club. Yeah,
I love I'm a sucker for a PPC Twitter handle. But yeah, Amy is fantastic and is always putting out content. And it's always must-read stuff.
Another great Amy here. We have Amy Bishop over at Cultivative. You can follow her at Hoffman8 on Twitter. She also has written some great articles about PPC. Not someone to miss following.
Yep, and I believe she's still over writing on Search Engine Journal quite a bit, but always fantastic content.
Okay, next up from Hop Skip Media, we have Amit Cobra. You can follow her at AdWords Girl on Twitter.
That's one of my favorite. She also, I think we've set stuff up there, so probably power listener. In on all the PPC chats each week. Well, most of the PPC chats each week. But yeah, at AdWords Girl.
You know she's got a lot of experience. She got AdWords in the handle.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have at Amalia Fowler, at Amalia E. Fowler on Twitter. Amalia is the best. You can also subscribe to her newsletter, The Wholehearted Manager, if you're interested. It's some great content. But she is always tweeting about PPC, great insights as a manager and just in the accounts. She's also a teacher, and she has a unique perspective.
Professor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How dare you?
I'm sorry, Amalia. She has a great perspective on everything just from like what she's talking to her students about. So definitely someone you should be following.
Yeah, and has takes on social. That's always interesting content generated.
Okay, next up we have Alyssa Altman. You can follow her at Alyssa_Altman on Twitter, and she is at Icon International.
Yes, great, great perspective on everything. And I think she is now also a professor as well on the marketing side of things and maybe on analytics as well. I think I just caught that. So 2 professors right in a row there, but I love Alyssa's strong opinions and has been great on SMXs in the past.
Okay, we're winding down our A's here and winding down our list. Next up, we have Akvila DeFazio. She is over at Advertise, one of my favorite company names in history. You can follow her at Akvila DeFazio on Twitter. She also has great articles, a lot about like social advertising over on the Advertise blog. Definitely someone you should be following.
Yep. If you're in meta ads, any way, shape, or form, go follow Akvila right now.
Next up, former guest on the show, it's AJ Wilcox from over at B2 Linked. You can follow him at WilcoxAJ on Twitter. If you are on LinkedIn ads, you need to be following AJ Wilcox.
Yeah, you can't think about LinkedIn ads without thinking about AJ and his wonderful smiling face. Just smiley guy, loves root beer, loves LinkedIn. Is the best follow if you do anything.
Another super positive voice in the community. Okay, and last but not least, and in no particular order except for alphabetical, we have Andrew Loke from over at Savvy Revenue, and you can follow him at Andrew Loke on Twitter.
I said Sam was one of the brightest minds. Andrew is up there. The way that he's getting data back from ads specifically, the amount of content he generates, and just the thought that you can it emanates from his writing. If you're doing anything retail, anything, even PMA, anything at all, shopping, check out Andrew Loke and Savvy Revenue must follow. It keeps saying must follow. How many times I've said that?
The same thing.
I don't know how else to say it. That's the whole point. It's our 50 must follow list.
I know. Well, that was number 50, so we've had a lot of practice saying must follow. But that was our full list of, according to Marketing O'Clock, the top 50 PPC follows. Again, we will have all of these people listed over on marketingoclock.com so you can make sure you are following them on Twitter. Thank you to everyone on this list for your contribution to my brain.
Made our job easier this year by making the news and help surfacing the news.
And let us know if there's anyone we forgot about or that we don't know about yet that we should be following. But thank you to everyone who's tweeting. You're doing the Lord's work, and we appreciate you. Okay, and that is it for this special episode of Marketing O'Clock. We'll see you next week.